When Stef moved into the neighborhood, he thought he was buying peace and quiet. What he didn't know was that love
I really
waited
like
on the
this view.
balcony
Me
across
too, it's
from him,
beautiful tonight.
and so did war. Stef arrived at his new home just as the sun began to set. Boxes in his hands, sweat on his back, and hope in his heart. The neighborhood looked perfect, almost too perfect. Inside, he unpacked just enough to crash on his bed. Exhaustion weighed on his body, but excitement filled his mind. Tomorrow, he thought, would be the true beginning. The next morning, Stef walked to his balcony, stretching his arms. And that's when he saw her, a girl standing across the street, coffee in hand, sunlight in her hair. They locked eyes for just a moment. Stef froze, awkward but curious. She smiled, a small, effortless smile that sent his heart racing. Later that day, Stef pretended to check his mailbox, and there she was again, walking her dog. He finally gathered the courage to speak. Morning. Morning. You're the new guy, right, Stef? How do you know my name? Small community. News travels fast. Conversations grew longer. A wave turned into a chat. A chat turned into laughter. Soon, their nights were lit, not by streetlights, but by messages that never seemed to end. Sometimes, they didn't even need words. Just standing on their balconies across the street, smiling quietly, it was enough. Soon, one thing led to another. Coffee dates, walks, and finally, dinners. That night, walking back together, Stef felt a happiness he hadn't known in years. But happiness has a way of attracting storms. That night, as they walked past her house, Anna stepped out, the HOA president, and Lena's mother. The very next morning, Stef found a paper taped to his door. His grass, it said, was too long. A fine, $100. But his lawn was perfectly trimmed. One fine became another. Curtains the wrong color, balcony overuse, a mailbox too shiny. It wasn't about rules anymore, it was about revenge. When Lena saw the notices, the truth struck her like lightning. This wasn't about Stef's house, it was about her, about their love. She's doing this to punish you, because of me, because she can't control us. Then what do? We fight back. Lena walked into the courthouse with trembling hands. Filing papers against her own mother was the hardest thing she had ever done, but love demanded courage. Soon, the community was buzzing. Neighbors whispered in driveways, glancing at Anna's house. Some were afraid. Others were silently rooting for Stef and Lena. In the courtroom, Anna sat tall, unshaken. Stef and Lena sat side by side, hands clasped. The judge listened as evidence of harassment unfolded. When Lena spoke, her voice trembled, but her words cut sharp. "I love him," she said, "and my mother would rather destroy him than let me choose my own life." Piece by piece, Anna's empire collapsed. The fines, the fabricated violations, the misuse of power, it all came out in the open. Her iron grip on the community was broken. The judge's voice was final. Anna Carter was stripped of her HOA presidency, fined for harassment, and ordered to step down. The room gasped. Stef and Lena had won. With Anna gone, the community breathed easier. Stef and Lena stood once again on their balconies, not as strangers, not as enemies' targets, but as partners who had survived. But as Stef looked out at the perfect rows of houses, a thought lingered. If one secret could hide behind these walls, how many more were waiting to surface?